Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing how I created this brutalism poster. Before we get started, I'd like you to know that all the assets I used in this tutorial are linked in the description box, as well as the PSD file, so do well to download it and design along with me. Before we get started, I'd like you to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and of course subscribe to the channel because more amazing comments is coming more amazing content rather is coming. And without talking too much, let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first thing I did is created a new file, and we're going to put in the right settings. So it's going to be 1080 by 1350. Alright, so resolution 72. You can just leave your other settings like mine and click on create. First thing is I'm going to create a solid color adjustment layer, and I'll make it 18. The hex code will be 181818, which is like very close to black, but it's not exactly pure black. So we'll click on OK, and next thing I'll do is I'll bring in the main image. I'll press OK. I'll actually hide it, and then I'll create a rectangle, something like this, something like this. I don't know, I think it's okay. Yeah, I'll create a rectangle, something like this, and then I'll carry this image and I'll clip it to that rectangle. Now press Ctrl T, and I'm going to reposition the image. I'll drag it out. Let me scale it down a bit. Yeah, I think something like this is okay. I think this is okay. I'll click on OK. Right now, for this rectangle, I'm going to double click on it to go into my layer style or blending options. I'll click on stroke, and I'll change the stroke color to color, or leave it at white. I'll change the blending mode to dissolve, or reduce the opacity to 96 is okay, and increase the stroke size. I'll change the position to inside, and the stroke size, I think I'll leave it at 5. I'll reduce the dissolve to like 92, and I'll click OK. Okay, we have that. Now I'll select the picture, and I'll go to my threshold adjustment layer, and I'll clip it to just the picture, and I'll select the threshold on the picture. I'll right click and I'll convert both of them to a smart object. I'm sorry about that. Right, my microphone just fell off. I hope the sound is back. Right, so I'll double click the image, right? And this is horrible, but I'm going to select the image itself. I'll go to filter, I'll go to noise, and I'll go to add noise, and I'll add a noise of 16. I'll click on OK, then I'll select the threshold adjustment layer, and I'll increase it to somewhere like 56. Right, then I'll press Ctrl S to save. Right, and then I'll go back, and you can see what we have. So I'm going to select the rectangle on the image, and I'll call it main. Right, then now I'll create another rectangle, something like this, something like this, something like this, and I'll drag the image up, and I'll clip it to that rectangle. Alright, I'll clip it to that rectangle. Okay, then this rectangle, I'm actually still going to adjust it. Right, so I'll take it down like this, inside a bit like this. Okay, you can see what we have. Then I'll come on top here and I'll select my gradient map and I'll clip it to that rectangle. I'll click on my gradient map and I'm going to select this this red to black. So you can see the hex code for the black and you can see the hex code for the red, right? So that's the gradient map I'm going to use for the eyes, right? So I have that effect pretty much. So the next thing I'm just going to do is I'm going to select all three of them and I'll call it eyes. Alright, now the next thing I'll do is I'm going to write my text. So I'm going to write AYES. AYES eyes. Alright, the font I'm using is Ananda and I believe I added it here. Yeah, right. I added it to the asset. So just check the description box. So I'm going to increase the size of this eyes. So something like this. Alright. I think I'll leave it just the way it is. Select my text tool again. I'll write D. I'll press escape. I'll press Ctrl T. I'll place it somewhere here. And I'll change the color to white. And I'm going to duplicate it. To duplicate, I'll hold my Alt and I'll drag. And I'll change it to never lie. Right. I'll press Ctrl T to reduce the size a bit and I'll place it here. So basically what I'm saying is the eyes never lie. That's the message. Okay. And then I'll select my text tool and I'll draw a mini text box and I'll write the eyes Chico, they never lie. I'll press escape. Now I'm going to change the font to Akira expanded and I'll reduce the size very well to like 16. So can you see it? So I'm going to place it here. I'll place it here. You can see where I placed it. I'm just using my arrow keys to drag it down a bit. Right? It's centralized to the middle. I want to centralize to the left. So yeah, I'll just place it there. Then I'm going to bring in some icons, right? These two icons. I'll drag them in. Right? So you're not really going to see them because they are black. So I'm just going to create a color overlay, a white color overlay by clicking on FX. Then I'll hold Alt and drag that color overlay to the second one. So now they are both white. I'll select both of them, press Ctrl T, and I'll reduce the size. And I'll zoom in. I'll reduce the size more. Yeah, and I'll place it here. I'll select one and move it out here. Right, so you can see both of them. I'll just place it beside the text like that. I think it's pretty okay. Then the eyes never lie. I'll select it, hold Alt, drag it. I'll press Ctrl T, right click, and I'll flip horizontal. I'll flip it horizontal and I'll just place it here. Right. I'll press Ctrl T. Maybe I'll reduce the size a little bit more. I'll press enter. I'll leave it there. Then I'll go and bring in some more, another icon, another element, which is this eye. And I'll drag the FX, the white color value to it so you can see it. Press Ctrl T. I'll rotate it like this. And then I'll reduce the size this way. Reduce the size, I'll place it here. I'll hold Alt and drag, hold Alt with Shift to make sure they are the same line. Press Ctrl T and then reduce the size further for the second one. right? So I'll leave both placed there. Then the eyes, remember this group that I created called eyes. So let me actually group my work. These three, I'll call it headline, right? Then the rest, I'll group it, I'll call it elements. Alright, so if I hide elements, you can see what is hiding. If I hide the headline, you can see what is hiding. Right, and if I hide eyes, so these eyes, right, I'm going to duplicate it, hold Alt, right, and I'll take it down here, I'll press Ctrl T, and I'll reduce the size. I'll just place it here on the right hand side. Right, so in the original one, I hid the gradient map and I left it like black and white like that. Okay, I think that's it pretty much. Okay, I think there are like 3 more things that I did. I brought this in, or rather, since I already have the element here, I can just drag it here, press Ctrl T, zoom in, increase the size a bit, right? That's one. Then once we have that, I'm going to select everything and I'll move everything to the top. And I'll move it to the left a bit. Right, so now at the bottom, I'll select my line tool and I'll just draw a line. I'll hold shift to make sure the line is straight. Right, now I'm going to change the color of that line to white. Change the color to white and I'll centralize the line. So for this line, I'll double click, I'll add a stroke, an inside stroke. I'll leave it at 5. I'll click on OK. Then I'll add a mask. Then I'll select my brush to make sure that my foreground color is set to white and make sure that it's a soft round brush. I'll click on this edge, the 2 edges. Can you see, to create that faded effect? Right, to create that faded effect. Then for this line, I'll select the line. I'll select my line tool and then I increase the height to 2 to make it thicker. Right, so that's how I created that line at the bottom, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we'll go to the top. The last thing I'm going to do is to add our textures. So I'm going to add this first texture, this texture 1, and I'm going to just increase the size. I'll change the blending mode to lighten and reduce the fill. So 51 looks okay. And I'll bring in the second texture, which is this one. I think I got it from Resource Boy. I'll change it to screen. I'll reduce the fill to like 20 or 30. I'll leave it at 30 before and after. Right, now for the headline, I'll select the headline and then I'll bring in another texture. I'll increase it and I'll clip it to the headline, and then I'll change the blending mode to darken. I don't know if you can see the difference without, look at the text. You can see the difference with and without the texture, right? So once you have this, you can now select all of them, press Ctrl Shift Alt T to create a snapshot, right click and convert it to a smart object. Then you can now go to filter, go to camera raw filter, and you can just make a little bit of edit if you want. So for me, I think I'll go to detail, increase the sharpening. I'll go to texture, to effect, I increase texture, I increase the grain, reduce the vignette a bit, right, and then I'll click on OK. And that is pretty much how I created this flyer right here, this poster rather, right here in Photoshop. And I think it's a pretty cool flyer, and if you like it, let me know in the comment section. If there's any new technique you learned, also let me know, and if there's any video you'd like me to make, also let me know. Right, like this video, share it, and of course subscribe to this channel because more amazing content is coming your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.